Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a Jamaican living in the Netherlands for the past 14 years. Please feel free to subscribe, share, and check out my links. My life in the Netherlands. What was my plan for today? My plan for today was to talk about what it's like to be an African Jamaican living in the Netherlands, specifically Arnhem. Arnhem has 152,000 people. However, there is only one black hair salon, which is a big problem. So that's why I'm wearing this style, because my plan was to talk about hair. However, today we have Irena. She's an international student that came to the Netherlands in 2019 to study, and for a portion of that time she lived with us. And in 2020, right when the outbreak of Corona started, she went back home. And now she's here finishing up her study, and she's here visiting us. And so I decided it would be a great idea for us to sit and chit chat for my channel, and she agreed. So that we are going to do. Okay, Irena.
Yes.
When did you decide to come to the Netherlands and study, and why?
Yes. Okay. First of all, thank you for having me today on your video.
Yeah.
Well, I've decided to move to the Netherlands about 4 years ago, in 2017, in September. I just finished Italian high school, and I really wanted to do my university abroad, so that I could have something more international, that I could improve my English and meet people from different countries. So I saw that in the Netherlands there are a lot of great opportunities for foreign students, and I thought, okay, that's the perfect country where to go to, and that's why I ended up living also in the Netherlands.
Okay. Did
Yes.
you make that because you're fairly young? Did you make that decision on your own, or did you make it with your parents?
Well, I think the support of my parents was really important. In fact, I had the plan in my mind in the beginning that I wanted to go to the Netherlands, but I was a little bit afraid, of course, because I was 19 at the time, so still a bit nervous of making such a big step. I've talked it over with my family, and they thought, okay, that's a good idea. Maybe we would have preferred you to stay in Italy in one way, but it's totally fine. And so yes, I had a lot of support from them.
Okay, I've been living in the Netherlands for 14 years, and I went to college a total of 3 times. Two of those times I actually went to study the Dutch language, so I actually have level 4, which is the state exam 2. I've heard several informations about the universities here, and what I have studied in school while I was studying the language is that the students in the Netherlands, until you're about 30, you get financial assistance, you can borrow loans and things like that. I also heard that international students, they also have the opportunity to come here and study for free. I did not learn that in school. That is something I heard along the way. So do you have any experience in that? Did you get any financial support from the Dutch government, or did your parents paid for your study, or did you borrow a loan in Italy to come here?
Okay, for this question, I think I'm not that prepared in all aspects of it, meaning that in my personal case, I had mostly the support from my family.
Okay.
I know that when coming in the Netherlands, it is possible for some students to actually have a loan. I had a few, let's say, classmates or colleagues in the university that had this possibility. Um, but I tried to look up some information, but I couldn't really find out what was possible for me. So in this case, I paid it, or my family paid it for me. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And that also include your living arrangement and like for transport, because there are some students who have access to like train cards and they get all type of financial assistance when it comes to housing. Did you have or get any of that, or that was also all covered by your parents?
Yeah, unfortunately, that was also covered all by my family. Yeah, because I know that, for example, for some Dutch students that are also Dutch citizens, it is possible to have, for example, a train card which they can use for free. There is a special offer for them during the weekdays or during the weekend only. But yeah, I don't have access to that. So in my case, accommodation and transport and tuition fees were on, yeah, personal expenses, let's say.
Okay.
But I do know that one big difference when it comes, for example, to tuition fees at the university is that like European students have less tuition fees than students coming from, for example, any country outside of Europe. In that case, it's 3 times more. So I was really shocked when I found out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess some of the information that I've heard is correct while others may be incorrect. Okay. So when you came to the Netherlands and you started your schooling, was it a culture shock? Is it a big difference between where you're coming from and what you head into? Because I know for myself, when I came to the Netherlands, it was more than a culture shock. It was more like I've never been in a tornado, but if I've been in a tornado or next to a volcano, I would say this is what it's like, because it was strange. When I first came, the first day I was in my house, but the second day that I went out, I went to the train station, and the first thing I saw was two men kissing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, personally, I don't have a problem with homosexuality because my sister, best friend when I was growing up, is gay, so that problem was solved.
Yeah.
But I never actually saw him kissing another person,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a little bit taken back, like, whoa, this is a lot. And as the time goes by, I've seen this more and more, the affection between two men or two women. Or did you see anything that was just like, well, that's new?
Mind blowing, let's say. Yeah, well, when I arrived to the Netherlands, that's a good question. I I yeah, everything was different. I mean, when I arrived, I was first of all confused how what I have to do, like where I have to do, which train. Also, for example, coming from an island, Sardinia, uh, yeah, it's not that common to take the train and to understand the system. So those small things that for, yeah, people living here for many years are really simple to do, then it becomes something you have to really think about and prepare yourself. I remember the very first day I arrived, I had two big suitcases, one of 23 kilos, the other one of 8 kilos. And I was trying to jump on the train. I mean, to go, not literally
With
jumping.
two big suitcases.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And so, of course, I had to take first one and then the other one. I first decided to bring up the one with 23 kilos. As soon as I put it there and then looked back, there was the other one of 8 kilos, almost like, in the all between the street.
The train and the paddle.
Yeah, exactly.
The train and the paddle.
And it was almost there, like completely. That was shocking. It was really lucky for me that I could take it from there because it was almost inside. Yeah, like really.
Well, you have good luck, because what could have also happened is that the train then makes the noise and actually goes off with the first one.
I don't want to. I don't want to think about it.
And goes off with the first one. That's also possible.
Yeah.
Okay, I have had a situation in the train that was quite shocking. I don't know, since we're on the train subject, if you have had that, but I once rode the train and I was in first class,
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was only Renee and I in the train, and two other people came in, and they started looking at me as if I didn't belong there. And I couldn't figure it out because I didn't even realize that the ticket he got was for first class, because the train itself, on a whole, it was like empty. So I didn't know that it was like, okay, you pay more to be in first class. I was just like, okay, it said first class. But at that time, I didn't really know Dutch. I could see that there was a first and whatever. But did you have anything like that, or you blended more because you look more like an average Dutch person? Did you blend in more, or what I would like to say, did you have anything to, did you face any type of discrimination where you think, oh, maybe that is because I'm not Dutch, I'm Italian?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in general, it's the foreigners are at a bigger disadvantage. Reason being is that the Dutch students and the students from Germany and Belgium that are closer by, they have the first opportunity to come over and see the college and the university campuses and to get the rooms. Like if you live a little bit further, like France or Italy, you go every step you go backward away from the Netherlands, it's more expensive to come in and to do the research. So a lot of international students find themselves in the situation where they get here, there is no room, so they have to go do room and boarding with families. And yes, especially if you have a last name that sound or look anything in the direction of
Mm-hmm.
Muslim,
Oh.
you have, I've met a lot of French students that are like half French, half Moroccan, or half French, half something else, which as a Muslim last name, and they said we are actually struggling because of our last name. And this one student told me that he actually had the same problem in France where he's living, and was quite shocked when he was looking for a job because of his last name, he couldn't get a job.
Well,
Okay, while you were here studying and you're here again, is there anything that you miss, like when it comes to food?
yeah.
Because there is a difference in food. This country is more a potato based
Yeah, that's true.
country, a potato based and a bread based country. You could eat bread to death and be stoned by potato and still live because it's normal. But is there any food that you miss, or you think when it comes to food, where can I find food that or was it easy to find stuff?
I think that in Dutch supermarkets you can find almost everything. Like I could find Mexican food, Asian food, Italian one. So
Jamaican
let
food, you're on a
no,
big, no,
right?
no.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
probably
that's like searching for a 16-year-old virgin in this day and age.
okay.
You almost can't find one. It's like wasting your time.
Okay.
You can't find Jamaican stuff in the Netherlands to save your life. At least not from my experience. I've heard there are stuff. Even last night, I was on the internet ordering stuff from Amsterdam. I don't even know if I send my money to a high-tech criminal, because the thing was declared paid before I punched in my code.
Oh.
It was the craziest thing. I called my daughter godmother Raquel. I said, I just paid for something without paying for it. And she said, how could it possibly
What?
be? I said, because it said it was paid. I never put in my password. And it said it was paid. It's the craziest thing. Okay. So you've been here before, and you're back again. The first time when you were here, did you learn the Dutch language? And if you did, at what level? And what was it like? Was it difficult? Was it easy?
Okay, I had some Dutch classes at my university. I was lucky because I had an amazing teacher, really friendly and really available and passionate about teaching us all the secrets, let's say. But my level now, I don't know if I can say like an exact letter because I think it starts from A1 to
Yeah, you
C.
have
Yeah?
A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. That's if you're looking at it from an English standpoint. If you're doing English, that's how the English based exam is set up in England. So that's how you would read it here. However, if you are going to look at it from the Dutch standpoint, it's going to be level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, or it's going to be level 1, level 2, state exam 1, state exam 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then after state exam 2 is what you use to go to if you're going to do university study.
Oh, okay.
Which is the start exam 2.
Well, from that first standpoint, maybe I would say I'm between an A2 and a B1. Maybe actually a B1 because I had some tests in which they gave me that. But I feel like I'm more able, for example, to read. If I read a text, then I probably understand it at a good level. If I have to speak or to listen to some conversation, then I have some.
Then it's
more,
a challenge.
Yeah, it's more challenging for me. Yeah.
If there is anything you could change about the Netherlands, because you've been here a while, experience, you also had your work experience here, your first work experience. If there is anything you could change about the Netherlands, what would it be?
Oh, the weather, first of all, the weather. Like a little bit more sun and warm, yes, that would be super nice.
Okay, so the first thing you did, okay, is the weather. Is there anything from the Dutch culture that you would take and implement in the Italian culture?
That's a really interesting question. It's Dutch are really famous to be direct, and I think that's something in Italy. Maybe we haven't. I mean, we are direct, but not as much as Dutch people. And sometimes it would be better to be a little bit more
direct.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because I've struggled with that for years.
Okay.
I've heard so many people saying that the Dutch people. I've heard so many people said that the Dutch people are direct, but that has never been my experience.
Okay. Okay.
Especially someone who have had my own daycare. I've had, because the clients that I've had, they came through an agency, and I've had so many Dutch clients that went through the agency and said things that was never said to me. So I've never experienced it, and I would say at least 70% of the foreigners that I've met said the Dutch people are so direct, the Dutch people are so direct, and I'm still waiting on that direct to come to me because I've never experienced it. I can give you one example. I had a little boy in my daycare for like 4 years, and also the sister, actually 5 years. And I had a little girl in my daycare for 3 years, and she was biting, and she bit the little boy. But when I found out she was biting, I did the next necessary step by getting her the bite and the ring, and I called the agencies. I explained what was going on, let all the agencies know who were providing kids for my daycare. At the time, I had 5 agencies, that we have a biter in the group, and I was approaching it, and I took their tips, spoke with the little girl mother, all the parents, they were fully aware of it. And so one day she bit this little boy, and his mom came, and I talked to her about it, informing her that the Dutch woman, that what happened, that she bit him, and I said, I'm going to call the agency and notify that specific agency where the little boy came from, that he was bitten by her. And she was like, no, it's not needed, it's fine, they're kids, I understand, we all know that she's biting, it's a phase and it's going to change. Mother is actually an assistant nurse. And she left, and I called the agency to report it because I felt it in my spirit, I need to report it. So I called the agency, and I was told the mother is on the line reporting it. She just told me that it was fine, everything is good, and she was reporting it. And I was quite shocked that she was reporting it so fast, because it was within seconds after she left. Well, when I looked out, I saw that she was in her car. She was still sitting in her car reporting it. I was so shocked. So I'm still waiting to see that directness. I can't wait for it to show up so I can prove it is real direct, because I've never experienced it. But most of the foreigners that I've met, they have said it. I just haven't experienced it myself. It would have been very nice if I'd experienced it then, that she would have told me to my face, I'm going to call the agency, instead of leaving. Or if she went in her car and changed her mind, just still call and said, I've decided that I'm going to call the agency. She just left me hanging just like that after years of having her kids in my daycare. And so 2 months later, I canceled. I was like, I really don't want to be around this woman anymore, because my trust in her just went away, because I gave her the opportunity by telling her I would do the calling. And she shut it down and said it was fine, good, it's great. And then she did it. Anyway, is there anything that you would implement that from your country that you would take to, that you would say, okay, this would be perfect if this would be taken from out of my country and be placed in this country, like a law being changed, like you said, okay, this thing.
Um, well, in Italy, we have the greetings that are really like well known as, like when you meet someone else, you usually or hug them or give two kisses, and that's something I like. That's something it would be nice to see also in the Netherlands sometimes. But I feel like in a way, I mean, I don't think here it's going to happen that much. I've heard sometimes people give three kisses, but I don't know if that's maybe some area in the
I'm
Netherlands.
shocked. I thought you knew that they greet you and hug you and give you kisses here. They do give you kisses. You never experience it?
Then maybe I haven't experienced it that much.
Yes.
Okay, well.
When Peter greet you today, didn't he kiss you?
No, but
Oh, because of Corona.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
No.
it's no, that you can't implement here. It is
Okay,
here.
okay,
They
okay,
will
so
kiss your face off.
probably
Actually, I wouldn't.
my bad.
I would not implement that structure anywhere. I don't like it.
Okay, yeah, that's personal preferences.
Yeah,
Preferences.
I really don't like it.
But you know something funny that I'm coming out. I'm coming out now. Like an idea I'm having. I remember like something shocking that happened to me when I was in the Netherlands. In a way, a funny story is when I was in a train. One time I was calling my family at the phone, like really loudly, like, "Oh yeah, mom, I'm doing this, this, and this," and I've just arrived in the train, and I don't remember if I sit upstairs or downstairs, because there are two different levels. And it was really strange because the train was so silent, like the wagon was super silent, and there was only me speaking quite loudly. And then I realized that people were looking at me in a strange way, like, what is she doing?
I think you were in the silent zone.
Exactly, but I realized that only later, so probably it was, yeah,
I think you were in the silent zone.
I was completely unaware of it. I didn't see the, the sign or anything. So.
I was in the silent zone going to Amsterdam. I think Selena was like 2. We were going there for a weekend, and I didn't spoke. I wasn't talking. I had a bag of, the little cheese sticks that you give to your kids.
Yeah.
And that bag, I was opening it, and everyone started staring at me as if I was doing something crazy. And every time I take out one and give Selena, they seems to get more and more upset. And then finally, the lady that was sitting beside, now I could call her direct, she looked at me and she said, it's a silent zone. So I point at the phone to show her it's a silent zone for phone. It's not a silent zone for chips. You're allowed to open your chips. There is no sign said no chips. And so she get very angry, and she said, I don't know why what I think I heard her say is, I don't know why these Africans don't follow rules and regulations. And she actually said it in Dutch. I translate what she said in English. And then I asked her in English, would you like to tell me what you just said in English? And then she told me what she said in English. So now I understand her. So I know that I understand what she said and what she said she actually said. So I told her that I'm a proud African Jamaican. And since there is no sign that said I'm not allowed to open a chips bag,
I'm going to open the bag of chips. And if she have a problem with it, she's the one that should leave.
Oh, so you were also really direct, I guess.
Yeah, I told her
In that
she's the
case.
one that should leave out of the train because I wasn't broken any rule. The rule was for the phone. You see, like a something actually goes through there that show you that no phone, like your phone and then a slash.
Yeah.
So it's like don't use your phone, but there is no chip. So she was, you know, I don't know what's her problem because it was a chips bag. If I was talking, I could understand that she said, okay, there is a rule and you're being disruptive. And I wasn't eating the chips myself. I was giving it to my daughter. I was giving it to a child. So that was her thing. But those type of experience I've had a lot, especially when I was studying Dutch my second year, because it took 2 years to get to the Dutch school. On my way home from school, guys will be like driving past in the car along the Rhine-Isle College, and they would just shout out, "Go back to Africa." It's the strangest thing. And for years, I actually never spoke about it until last year. I started sharing, like because every time I hear people talking about stuff that happened to them, I used to be quiet. And then one day I just decided I'm not going to be quiet anymore because I've actually had the same experience. That's like, if they're the people that get upset at foreigners, because that's what they call you, even when you have a Dutch passport, you're a buitenlander. The first thing they tell you is to go back to your country, which doesn't even make no sense. And the reason why it doesn't even make no sense is because most of the foreigners that are actually here, they are from Curacao, Suriname, places that the Netherlands enslaved. So the Netherlands actually barged into their country. Is the reason why they're not here, because they have access to the country, because they went in first and enslaved those people. So to tell them, we can use you for farming, we can use you for this, we can use you for that, and then your great grandchildren are not allowed to come, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, why did you go there? You shouldn't have been there in the first place. So anyway, now that we have said that, you have seen the difference between your country and this country. Would you live here? Not choosing, you're not choosing, because your home country is your home country, but would you stay here, live here, work here, marry here, have family here, or not?
I think it's such a difficult question, because at the moment I don't see myself living for the whole life in any country in particular.
Yeah.
But depending if I on how things go,
It's not a closed subject.
Yeah, I would be open to live, yeah, here in the Netherlands or in any other
It's
country.
also close to your country.
That's true. That's a big advantage. Yeah.
It's very close to there, and depend on the season, it could be expensive or it could be cheap.
Ready for that.
I hope you guys enjoy our video, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.